Good morning, Aquarius. How are you? Welcome to your March 2023 reading. I hope you guys are doing well. Aquarius. So this is going to be your monthly reading for March. This will be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. Cross watchers, if that is you, welcome to the channel. If you guys have not made your way to the channel until now, welcome. I am Nicole. For those of you returning, thank you for your love and support. It is so greatly appreciated. Guys, if you find that the video resonates for you, please hit that like button. Otherwise, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. It helps circulate the messages for other people as well. We work collectively together to make sure that we're getting exactly what we need in divine timing. So I hope you guys, again, are doing very well. And Aquarius, let's just jump right into your reading. Remember that this is a collective message. So some parts of the reading may resonate for you, others may not. Make sure you check your other placements, your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. Also, Aquarius. I've seen so many signs end up with this chaos card for the month of March. And to me, what it's signifying is there's a lot of things, residual things, that need to be cleaned out, to be cleared out, to be started over, that it's time for a renewal. And, we're stepping into spring here soon. The weather makes us think that it's spring too, right? But it's a time of rebirth, regeneration, renewal. High Priestess of Water. You may be dealing with a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. That card too has come out quite a bit, and that tells me that obviously not everybody is dealing with a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, but that we're dealing with a lot of emotional energy, a lot of emotional residual stuff that tends to our heart space, and that there's some things that need to be addressed. I will say this too, and I think I said this last night in Taurus's reading. Understand that this channel, why I do what I do, and I feel like I need to make another video on this alone, is to help you guys heal. If you watch other readers on YouTube, there are some that are absolutely fantastic. They are there to see you grow. And I'm not against love readings, but I will say this also. Love starts within yourself. Love starts with you. Love starts to change everything in your world when we are open and receptive to it. When we love ourselves, when we learn how to love ourselves, we can love others better. So my message is here with Path of Enlightenment Tarot is to guide you through things that are sticking to you, that are not serving your higher good. No matter where you've been, what you've done, the things that maybe you carry around with you, my goal is to always see everybody elevating into their better self, to their higher self, to their spiritual self, to tend to those inner wounds and open us up to doors of healing so that we can thrive, okay? So, movement and fulfillment. I feel like for some of you, you guys are going into understanding that it's time to walk away from that residual emotion that I was just talking about, into something that is much more fulfilling for you at the end of the day. So Aquarius, listening. Aquarius, I love you guys. I just gave, I think, Taurus the worst ass spanking last night ever. But I'm not surprised to see the listen card come up, Aquarius. You guys can tend to get into some daydreamy type ideas and sorts and making up your own world in your own mind. And I understand I'm not knocking you. It's just who you are. And that's okay. But it's like coming back down to earth, because we have to be able to speak and communicate and to listen. So important, that listening aspect, so that we can understand and work with others very well. Okay. So let's see what Grove, the self. This Grove with this particular deck, which is the Wisdom of the House of Knight of Oracle deck, the Grove is to tend to ourselves, right? To give, to nurture, to love, to take that moment of rest and reprieve, to open ourselves up, to examine. It's kind of like the hermit of this deck is how I see it. Taking a moment and sitting with ourselves and what we've learned and where we're going and what else that we need to address. We are never, ever, ever done growing. We are never done learning. I don't care if you're 20. I don't care if you're 92. We are forever learning lessons of our soul's growth. That's what we come to this 3D world for, is to learn, is to grow, to expand. Um, that nine struggles, a lot of fight to get to where you are, a lot of strife to get to where you are. I think of the 9 of Wands when I see that particular card because of what is on it. The 4, the High Priestess of Water, our emotions, our stability, our foundations, what they mean to us emotionally, right? And listening, that 5, learning how to do things differently. 5s invoke change, all right? And then growth, 3, what did I just say? Doing it with others, listening with others, working together with others. That 3 is always about bringing things together, working together, understanding together, celebrating together, loving together, laughing together. Overseeing those challenges and those obstacles as a unified group of people who are learning. And you may have learned these lessons, Spirit is also saying you may have learned these lessons by ways of other people, and now you're in a space of retreating from that. But I do think that it's time that some change needs to occur for you at this time, okay? Each sign, I've done you guys a little differently. So I'm going to go to the Sacred Earth Oracle and just grab a card on each of these ones and have them elaborate, have Spirit elaborate for me. I will tell you too that most of the videos for March are out. I've got you guys, Scorpio and Aries, to finish up today. And then all of March's readings are out, and then we'll go from there. So if you have other placements, which I'm sure you do, we all do, you can check those out as well. Alliance. What are you holding on to that is creating your chaos? To me, you've found, I'm going to call it faithfulness and loyalty to the things that are not taking care of you the way that you would like to see them take care of you. You know, when we change our frequency and our vibration, we change the people in our lives. And sometimes that's a very hard thing for us to do because we get attached to people, situations. We don't know how our worlds would work if we didn't have these people in our lives or these situations. That owl, I've been seeing a lot of owls, and I think I heard someone else say that the other day too, and we were talking about birds. It's been weird. But that owl is significant of wisdom, right? They can foretell transformation. They can foretell a lot of things. They can also be foretelling of death. I don't know that this is that severe, we'll call it, but this is about you pledging an allegiance to yourself, to clear out the things that are not serving of your energy. I feel like you're cloaked in a lot of wisdom, a lot of where you come from, Spirit is saying, where you've nestled stuff. And for some of you, this may pertain to siblings as well. Maybe you're all very similar. The number 4 again stands out to me, so maybe 4 at home or something to that effect. But it's like you've had all this growth, and sometimes we have to go in and we have to trim away all the stuff that we've been layered with, what we've been conditioned with, what we've been cloaked with for so very long, because it becomes very messy. I mean, you think about it in your house, like if you start hoarding stuff and keeping every single momentum, or is it momentums? What's the word? All the things, like you think about it like this way. I don't know if I'm using the right word or not. It's too early in the day yet. But you think about how, like with your kids, right? When they're little, they draw, they create, they color, they win awards, they bring home school papers, they got an A on their first math test. But we tend to collect all of those things because we feel guilty if we don't hang on to them. So it's like picking and deciding what is, not that none of it is worth keeping, but what is it at the core of that being that is going to matter the most. You can't hang on to everything. And when we do, our houses become cluttered. We have stuff everywhere. And, you know, feng shui, you know, is to clear and to declutter, to create symmetry in our spaces, to allow perfect flow. The more stuff we have around us, the heavier things can be, right? And it makes us feel kind of like caged in or caved in. So you always want your space to be clear, and you need to think about your body and your mind and your emotions the same way. You know, when we eat, we take in all kind of crap, and our body needs to be cleansed. When we're with our mind, I tell people, don't watch the news, put down the news. You know, why? Because it clutters our mind with things that we don't need. It's residual extra bullshit that just lives rent-free within our space. Our emotions, when we don't heal and forgive and find peace within, we're carrying those residual emotions around. I think this is very much about a time to clean the slate for you. And you guys can think that I'm babbling, but understand that the messages, when I sit here and I start speaking like this and I'm not shuffling cards, that's spirit speaking through me. That's them using me as a conduit of the importance of what is transpiring in your life right now. I don't sit here and you know, plan a script or whatever. What comes through, and it's picking up intuitively. I'm an intuitive reader more than anything. I trust that whatever spirit has given me is divinely the message that I'm supposed to be giving to you. Okay, so no, I'm not just babbling, I promise. Okay, all right. High Priestess of Water, what is this about for Aquarius, please, Spirit? Motion. That's the second time I've seen that motion card. Where did I put? Oh, there they are. Where was it? It was on the split there. That's where it was. But motion. It's time to make movement. I feel, again, like some of you have held on to something that has not been for your highest good. There may be an emotion itself. It may not even be a person, a situation. It's about the emotion of that motion, or the motion of the emotion, I should say, that you're hanging on to. You're clenching on to that emotion like there is no tomorrow. And for each of you, it may be different. For some of you, this may not resonate at all. For some of you, it may be nailing every single thing. But that emotion that you're hanging on to and clenching to, it's like you're hoping that that emotion is going to drive you forward. I want to say to you that our emotions are meant to come in. We're meant to feel those guys, and then we're meant to let them go and move on. So if you're hanging on to whether it's a feel-good emotion or a negative emotion, understand that our emotions are temporary until we have the next experience. They're meant to teach us. They're meant to guide us. They're meant to teach, let us know that we're heading in a good direction, or it feels scary to us, and then we need to understand why these things are being invoked in us as we have these experiences. All right? Listening, Aquarius. Oops. Clarity and expectation. I do believe that some of you are waiting for clear communication. You're expecting to have some type of resolve with something or someone. This listening to me right now is you're awaiting. You're in a period of waiting to know something. And you're not hearing what you want to hear right now. Okay? Rule number 1, drop the expectation. Divine time will always be at play. Spirit is saying what is yours will be yours. What is due to be yours will be back around or come back around. Nothing that's ever meant for us passes us up. Sometimes we take, and I just said time, right? Divine timing, there it is. Don't get in your head. I feel like it's almost like you're sitting around and waiting for something to occur right now. You may be reminiscing on some past situations and trying to discern whether or not you made the right decision. If you made that decision, are you sitting in a space of self-doubt because your expectations were not met? Or are you kind of in a space of boredom and that's your focus right now because you don't know what else to do? Gonna sound like a cruel thing to say, but then find a hobby. Sorry, blunt Scorpio. But don't put all your focus, energy, effort, and attention into something that's sending you into self-doubt. It will take form. I feel like you and other people around you are still trying to figure things out. It's fragmented energy. Everybody's dealing with their own residual stuff. So be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with another person. Don't allow the external world to come in and wreak havoc on the mind. Aquarius, and again, all do love here for you guys and everybody. When you guys tend to sit without that emotion is hard to level out sometimes for some of you, and it depends too on your placements. It's just because you have Aquarius doesn't mean that that's the way that it is, but it's a tendency. It's a tendency to forget how to be emotionally open. So be patient right now, whatever this is, and I'm going to dig into this. Be patient right now with yourselves and others. Everybody right now is transforming into some growth in some way, closing cycles out, cleaning up stuff so that we can move on to the next layer of that onion, right? Peeling those layers back, getting to the next thing. Be patient, because behind that, if you're patient and you're willing to do that, you've got success. But right now, I feel like this temporary pause, whatever this is making you doubt yourself. Okay? It's to remind you that what you did. The cat. Oh my God, he's out of control this morning. I don't know what he's into, but anyhow, we'll deal with that in a little bit. God, hey, guys, hold on. I'm sorry. Get down. There it is. Thud. He's a counter surfer. He's awful. God, he's terrible. Anyhow, his food bowl was empty for more than 5 minutes this morning. It's the end of the world. 20 plus pounds and we can't go 5 minutes. He goes to the vet. I'm in trouble. Anyhow. So this is about you putting that faith. I'm so sorry, that cat. Oh my God. This is about you putting faith into yourself and not attaching your value and your worth to something else that you may have given to that makes you feel like that return, and I'm going to go business sense here, return on investment isn't coming around. If you did something for the right reasons, if your intentions were pure and honest, you never have anything to worry about, ever. Never. You never have anything to worry about, okay? So very important. So very important. All right. Aquarius, there's my deck. I feel like I want to use this other deck for you guys instead of the Oracle. That's what I mean. Every time I've done a reading, it's like, oh, let's use these cards instead, or let's do that instead. So we'll go with it, right? Okay. All right, for Aquarius, 7 of Cups. There you go, that confusion. That confusion you're letting, and then that 5 of Pentacles, feeling in lack, feeling without. Whatever's meant for you will come back around. Whatever's meant to be will be. You know, maybe you're hanging on to one feel-good emotion because it's the only thing that you've felt in a while that feels good. You know, so just give yourself some time. Give yourself some time. Give the people around you some time. All right? All right, let's see. Aquarius, past energy, please, Spirit. 6 of Air, or 6 of Swords. Present energy. 10 of Air. Oh my God. Mental imprisonment. It's all mental. Guys, come on. Choices. What did I say? Did you make the right choice? Did you do the right thing? Yeah. I don't. 2 of Cups. You're trying. I'm telling you, whatever. This message, I think, is extremely simple. There's that 4 of Swords. It's a timeout for you to get yourself in check emotionally. Things are coming around that wheel. It's a positive turn of events. And what's sticking out to me, that 3 of Swords. This is all mental. This is all your head getting the very best of you. Living in anxiety and worry and stress and strife. Whatever this is that you walked away from, had to move on to other things, Spirit is saying it is temporary. And just because you don't see movement or progress does not mean that movement and progress are not occurring. Sometimes doing nothing is exactly the very best thing that you can be doing. Okay? I I feel like you needed like a motherly talk today, Aquarius. March, the month of motherly talks for you guys. And there's my nose itching, so there's the confirmation of that. Do we need nurtured? Fine, come to Path of Enlightenment. We will nurture you here. We'll be hardly and brutally honest, but we'll nurture you to the best of our ability. All right. The Six of Air. You ended something that needed to be ended. You walked away from something that needed to go. It just wasn't the right time. Spirit seems to be reiterating to me for you that it just wasn't the right time. All right? Be patient. Be understanding. When things feel chaotic, walk away. Are you investing your energy in the wrong places? If it is overwhelming to you, it's time to check out of that. 10 of Pentacles. All right. The Sun. And here's the thing. What I say comes back around. There's that Six of Cups. One of the many meanings of the Six of Cups. Let's see. I feel like you feel like, oh my gosh, there's disappointment attached to this. Yep, Five of Swords, Eight of Swords. You may be in a space of nostalgia right now also. You needed to see something from a given situation. I kind of feel like this is repetitive, just something I may have said to you guys in the past. But you needed to see the differences. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, you're holding on. I said it back there. You're holding on to something. You're clinging on to something. Whether it's an emotion, whether it's a feeling. You know, water is our emotion, right? That's our element of emotion. You can hang on to water, but your fingers go straight through. You can never like touch the same water twice. You're forever, you can clench it all you want to, but it's going to slip right through your hands. Let go of that emotion. Because you are hanging on to what felt good in a moment. Instead of hanging on to a situation, a person, a whatever this might be for each of you, remember how good it felt. Because it will create itself in your world again, but on a better note with the best of intention. But I feel like you're being nostalgic. For some of you also, Spirit is saying if this was a passing of a loved one at one point, maybe in the last 6 months is what they're giving me, that you may be hanging on to a home space. If that is you, the material does not take away, you know, the loss of a material world, whether it's a home or belongings, or I don't know why they're bringing up a hairbrush or feathers or something. I don't know what that's about. Specific message for somebody, right? Not having those material things doesn't mean that our memories of that person or that time frame in our life are lost. And I'm going to go back to the fact that I brought up like all the things that our kids collect, right? I feel like as I'm saying this, it's coming back around from Spirit. It doesn't mean that those things are lost. It lives within your emotional space. It lives within your memories. It may be nostalgia. And maybe for some of you, you're trying to let some of that go. Do you feel guilty for that? If it doesn't serve you, then let it go. You shouldn't feel guilty for that. You know, we tend to take on all these things that think that if we don't do X, Y, and Z, then we're a bad human. That's not the case, okay? Just give it love. Give it appreciation. Give it a big fat thank you. And move forward from there. Some of you, Spirit is saying also that you're lacking a sense of community surrounding you right now. Are you isolated? Are you alone? Aquarius, I wouldn't be surprised. You guys tend to go off and do your own thing. Might find it hard to make connections with others. So you hang on to a specific time and place because that was the one time that you felt connected. You know? 10 of Air. 5 of Pentacles again. Feeling loss and lack. Things are going to get better, okay? Things are going to turn around for you. But as long as you are in this Five of Pentacles, woe is me, I am the victim mentality, it's going to take you a long time to get there, right? Five of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Strength card. You may be dealing with a Leo. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. You feel very tired to me. You feel very worn out to me. It's like, if I'm hearing from Spirit, it's like you're coming in with, if I could just change this one thing, this one moment in time. Did that knock you off of your throne? Did it kind of shatter the ego a little bit? Because that's what it feels like to me. I feel like wherever in your life you have put your worth into, whether it's been money or a task or a skill, something about those particular things that you equate yourself as being labeled to got stripped away somehow. Maybe you gave him away. Maybe you just had to take another turn and got derailed for a little while. I'm not sure. It's going to be different for each of you again. But part of that was to take away that progress, to show you how to get in touch with your emotions. Like, I feel like for some of you, it was as if you just believed that it would just flow that way forever. Nothing would ever change. Fixed energy, right? And now you're being asked to see it differently, understand it differently, address it differently. And that's requiring a part of you to be in a form of harnessing your emotions, taming that mental thought, and leading with your heart space rather than with what it is that you can give. And Aquarius, I know, that it's tough to lead with that emotion, but your heart wants to. There's that Two of Cups. That's unifying, right? That's coming from a loving space. That is to give and, an even exchange of giving and receiving. Whatever conflict has been surrounding you, it is going to clear up. But for so long as you sit in this Five of Pentacles, this lack mentality, you're going to continue to vibrate in that. If you ever read or familiar with Jerry and Esther Hicks, they channeled Abraham. They do the law of attraction, right? I think everybody's heard of the law of attraction or some form of it. And I think it might have been the original law of attraction book. I can't remember now. But there's like 22 processes. And I know I've said this for another sign not long ago. But see where you are. Get that book and see where you are on that scale. If you're feeling pessimistic, what's the next feeling up from that you can continue to pull yourself up out of this gut or this rudder that you've got yourself into? Because if you want a complete unification here of whatever this is, you're going to have to feel better. Unless you want to be misery and misery loves company. Unless you want to be in that vibe, which I don't recommend to anybody. What is this Two of Cups about? Five of Swords. The World. Queen of Cups. You don't want to let something go. And it wants to close out whatever this is. If you're carrying, how do I want to put this? If you're carrying heavy stuff that made you feel like you went to war, of all things, but we're going to go with that. It's time to let that down. Like, I feel like you gave somehow. And now you're like so caught up in that, maybe feeling regret and remorse for giving something, anything. It doesn't matter. It could have been a nickel. It could have been, $1 million. It could have been your time. It could have been your energy. It could have been a heartfelt expression. It could have been anything. But I feel like you're just like, I don't know how this works out, and I feel, for doing it ever. Why? Whatever this portion of time was, and it may have been, I'm going to say in the last 3 months specifically, it's closing out. This was like a mini cycle in your life. But you have to come from a loving space. You have to balance your emotions. You have to open yourself up. And if you don't know how to do that, meditate. Sit down and pray. Ask your guides to come in. Focus on that heart space of healing and forgiveness. And I want to say of yourself. Understand why you feel so heavy when it comes to giving and you don't hit an expectation that you were expecting. Wouldn't it be beautiful if we just let the things in our lives flow exactly as they are and we find appreciation and joy for them just as they come in? Because then we're not fighting the current, right? We're not hanging on to water that we can't grip a hold of. We just get to have a beautiful experience and live in gratitude. And when you live in gratitude, you can't live in anything else in that moment. It changes. We can't hang on to different emotions like that at the same time. You cannot be happy and be angry in the same breath. We can have bittersweet. And bittersweet, I don't believe, is even an emotion. It's a feeling that invokes from the nostalgia of the life that we are thinking about. Okay? All right, Aquarius. Very simple message, but very, very deep. Very deep message. All right, let's get you guys some advice, Spirit. This is the Energy Oracle deck. It's a beautiful deck. Messages for Aquarius. What advice, Spirit, do you have for? Spirit is talking about timing again. They're saying the timing was off. There needed to be a clearing. It's almost like you kind of got caught up, is how it feels. Like you got endless possibilities. This can go any direction. It's up to you. Like you got caught up in something. It doesn't necessarily mean bad or good, but you know, our ego tends to get in the way, and we get caught up, and we're feeling good, and we're rolling with it. Yeah, you can't make it up. Spirit's advice to you. What I say, healing the heart. You guys have really got to deal with these emotions. 5. You're going to have to change the way you're doing this. All right? You know, again, right now, you're in a space of free will that gives you the ability to pick the direction that you're going to go. And through that, you've got to open up that emotional heart space. When you do, great big love. It wants to come in. It wants to nourish you. It wants to nurture you. It wants to be that nurturing advice like we were talking about earlier. Need nurtured? Come on into Path of Enlightenment Tarot. Bearing fruit. When you put the work in, when you reap the rewards of the results, or the rewards and the results of the time and the energy and the effort that you invested into you, good things come. Understand that when you're in that space of feeling guilt, regret, remorse, whatever, you're cutting off your abundance in every form. Every single form. You are not a victim. You are only a victim of circumstance if you see it that way. You can say, these are the cards that I was dealt, but it doesn't define where I'm going. And that is a choice. That is a conscious choice that you have to make. When you work well with others, when you play well with others, you open yourself up to endless possibility. Number 11 is a master number. Endless possibilities. Where your growth can be had, it's opening to you. It's always been open to you. It's your choice on what you choose to do with it. And Spirit is asking you to approach these situations with love and compassion for others and for yourself. Okay? I like this message, though, for you, Aquarius. It's soft. I didn't have to give you the ass spanking I had to give some of the other signs. But be gentle. The message here is to be gentle. Profound change is on the horizon, they're saying. It wants to close out. You've got that World card. It's closing. It's a completion. It's positive. Step into it. Just go right into it, okay? All right, Aquarius, if you found this video resonated for you, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so. Again, if there's anything that I can do for you guys, please feel free to reach out through the description box below. About section of the page, you'll find my email if you'd like a one-on-one reading to get clarity around your situation, and maybe some deeper advice. Sometimes I don't go too deep on the channel because everybody's going to be different, and I could be here for days, right? Years maybe. So just note that the choice is yours on how we unify that Lover's card. This may be you trying to reconnect with somebody. Something new does want to come in for you. All right, something new wants to come in and help guide you. So, but you've got to be open to letting go of the expectation. I feel like for some of you got knocked off your high horse. I'm just going to be honest, and that pertains to the ego. Let that ego go, because it can be your best friend and your worst enemy. It depends on how you're addressing it. Okay, so be cognizant of that. So, all right, guys, Aquarius, I wish you guys the best month of March. We'll get some other videos out here, hopefully in the near future. You all take care. I'm sending you all my love and all my light.